I did that alternative assignment 3-page paper thing to prove her wrong, she actually reported me to a school organization where, I don't remember what it was, helps students get along with the teachers, and it's kind of like a student representative. And I had to be in a meeting early in the morning in downtown Phoenix, which is pretty far for me, especially when I had classes in the morning. So I communicated with those people about the meeting, and they made it a Skype meeting instead. So it was weird because the teacher reported me before I could see her face to face to resolve the problem in person. And it seemed like she was avoiding that to not be able to confront me in person because she didn't want to be confronted. And that made me angry because she didn't even take the time to confront me in person, and instead she reported me right away. And I was really upset about that because we could have resolved the situation before it got that bad. And it already got that bad, and at this point I canceled the appointment because there was no way I was going to go up to her face to face and be nice to her after her reporting me to student representative. So after the meeting with the student representative, which was like 2 people, and they were totally chill about the situation, they agreed with me all the way, they read all the emails that we sent back and forth, I owned up to that mistake that I made, and they were very chill about it. So they said that they would talk to her, and that this was not the first complaint that they have gotten with this teacher. So apparently this teacher was under a lot of stress, and a lot of students were having trouble with this teacher. And let me tell you, this class is literally just a class to go over how to use PowerPoint, how to use Google devices, how to use Microsoft devices, how to program computers. I don't need to know that. I mean, I need to know the basic technology, but I already did know the basic technology before I got into the class. But it was just like an intro class, and it was probably the worst class I have ever taken. Just saying. Worst class. I'm not going to tell you what class it is. I mean, there's a bunch of technology classes, but unless you know technology really, really well, you won't guess what the class is called. So when I was talking to the student representative, which again was really nice and really chill about the situation, and said again that I handled the situation very maturely. During this time, I was also having another issue with my math teacher. And this math class was a hybrid class, and if you don't know what that is, it's a class where it's online and in person at the same time. So I had to go to this class where it was strictly online program, but there was just a teacher there to watch over you. So I ended up having to go anyway, and I hated the program as soon as I started it. So apparently, when we first started the math class, the math teacher said, if you go at your own pace, you can finish the entire course in 5 weeks. and my friend and I were in the same class. We met at like orientation, and we looked at each other and was like, let's finish it in 5 weeks. And she also commented and said, if you finish it in less time if you finish it in less time that the semester lasts for, then you don't have to show up for the rest of the year. And I'm just like, that's great, that's awesome, I want to do that. So I did something I probably should not have done because I didn't learn the best, but I rushed through the program like no tomorrow. As soon as I finished one unit, I asked to take the test. I took the test earlier than everyone else, and then I started the next unit, and then I took that test. And after you're taking the test, you can immediately see your grade. And after taking the third test, I didn't see my grade. So I got confused and I told the teacher. And she said that you guys can't go fast in the program anymore because the system and the people running the system won't let you do it anymore. And we got confused because we're just like, well, didn't you tell us differently? Didn't you say that we can finish it in a faster time and finish the entire program, including the test, in 5 weeks? And she said, yes, but I talked to them and they changed their mind and we can't do that anymore. And we're just like, okay, that's aggravating, and we were pissed because she lied to us. But I mean, it is what it is. You have to be in other classes with the same amount of time anyway. So we're just like, okay, whatever. But the thing with me was that this class was my only class on Wednesday, and it was a pain in the butt because it was late in the afternoon. It was the only class, and if I didn't have to go to the class, I could save my gas. Well, money. So it was irritating because I was really looking forward to saving up money and also not coming to the class. And let me tell you this with the teacher. She's not very polite. She is from a different country, sounds like it, and comes from a different culture, I believe. And I'm not assuming, I'm just guessing, because that's what it sounds like. She has a very thick accent, and her expectations are a lot higher than a normal, I can't say normal because that's rude, but than a teacher that is American in an American school. I'm being so mean right now, but you know what I'm talking about. She had high expectations for students that needed a lot lower of expectations, especially coming from Arizona's public schools, which are really, really rude to teachers. She didn't seem used to that, and the students were very talkative in the class. Some of us were actually talking to each other about the math work because it was really hard, and others were just talking to talk about something else. And she didn't even like the fact that we were talking in the first place, so she would get mad and threaten to drop people's grades or give us an extra sheet to do, which her worksheets are really hard, and if you bomb that, you bomb your whole grade. And it sucks because those worksheets, if you ask a TA, which teacher's assistant, if you didn't know that, if you ask one of her TAs, which are paid, for help, they will help you, but half the time the TAs will give you the right answer and then they'll give you the wrong answer. That's just a brief overview of what goes on during the worksheets. Imagine a 30-kid class of a public school. I went to a private school and there was a 30-kid class that I had that was very rowdy and very rude to teachers. Sometimes they were rude enough to teachers to make them quit. I have been in louder classrooms, and my college classroom in this class consisted of 90 kids, compared to a 30-kid class was louder than this 90-kid class. So my teacher, my math teacher, thought this was unacceptable and we were being extremely rude, especially since some kids in the class were complaining that everyone was being too talkative. When no one ever did complain, she was just complaining and blaming it on a different student that didn't exist. And it made us really irritated because she kept on yelling at us, saying to be quiet, and if we weren't going to be quiet, then she'd punish us and drop our grades. She was very rude, and it was very disrespectful because I don't know where she's from, but that's not what goes on with a regular teacher. And I say regular because that's not what we're used to. That's obviously not what anyone's used to, because when she starts yelling at us, half of the room rolls their eyes and is really annoyed. I mean, who wouldn't be? And it was really annoying. I obviously had a problem with her, and I was just not putting up with it. I was getting really irritated. Moving on, I go on with all the units without having to take the last 2 tests. And I speed through them faster than you probably should have, and I didn't learn that much by doing it. Something I didn't mention, after I took the 3rd test, that math teacher came up to me to tell me my grade because I couldn't see it, and she could. She went up to me and told me that I failed the test, which is, it's okay because it happens, and said, maybe you should actually try harder next time and not go so fast in your math work. And that really offended me because I'm just like, wow, that's really rude. 2, if you're a teacher and you see one of your students fail a test, your first reaction shouldn't be, wow, you should really try harder. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh. No, it's, what happened? Do you need help? Here's the tutoring center. If you need help, don't hesitate to ask. Or if you have any questions, please ask me or email me. I'm here for you to help you succeed in your class that you paid for. Wow, so great. And I was already having, again, troubles with my mental health, and this was just like blowing me away from how much luck I had at the time. So I'm just like, yes, this is what I want. This is what I want. She was being really rude, and it wasn't only to me, because it's not all about me, even though it make it seem like it. It was everyone else that was getting the same treatment. And she just didn't like us. And get what you give. She didn't like us, we didn't like her. It was an equal opportunity there. And it was an equal treatment. So she treated us like crap, we treated her like crap. She didn't like us, we didn't like her. She would drop our grades, give us punishments. We would try to obey it, but in the end, she would always get her way. So it was just like a friggin' big eye roll. And I'm just like, yes, okay. Let's go back to the student resource people that I had to make a meeting with because of my technology teacher. They said, do you have any other teachers that you need to worry about? Because I'm just like, I am done with the teacher situation. I am done with the technology teacher situation. I just want to be done with it. I don't want to deal with all the drama right now. And I told them a little bit about my math teacher. And I told them the part up to the time where my teacher told me to try harder. And they're just like, wow, she said that? And I said, yeah. Like, why would she say that? And they're just like, well, again, this isn't the first complaint that we've had on this teacher. I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know. So that way, it's not just for me, it's for other people that get to have her too. Because, wow, if they have her, I would rather not be in college, that's for sure. And they connect me to a